Good evening, everyone. This is a continuation of a real world production effort. We're building a flagship for Pastor Freeman. We've decided to go with products and then listing of those products, all those products that we have. When I say products, I want to make sure we're on the same sheet of music. So when we say products, we're talking about it's a broad term. So we can have products within the AI workstation in terms of the app, those individual apps within the workstation, create the products that Pastor Freeman wants. So what we're trying to do is transform his sermons, stories, and wisdom into a lasting legacy that reaches thousands and funds his ministry. We're trying to create, you talk about creating or monetizing content that you have or content that you're going to create with the AI workstation. It's easier said than done, but I've been thinking about this, stressing over it, and you can talk to Danny about this for several weeks now, a month, of how to put together this bundling thing. It's just driving me nuts. I've decided that the core bundle, the product menu, is going to be his book, and that's what he wants. He has a book and a stage play. We're going to focus on the book. From that book, we're going to create a 60-day devotional. One of the things we're going to do is create a chatbot and assistant. We're going to train it up with all his content, knowledge, a repository full of stuff. And these are the type of people we want to look for. Because when we see people like that, if you talk to people and they tell you, hey, I'm working on this, I got all this content, I got this data, then you should immediately think monetization. How can I help him monetize his content? Number one, hey, you should write a book. I can help you with that. Number two, do you have a bot? I can help you with that. So these are all things you can do. This is what Joel Hill is doing, and you guys are witnessing what we're doing for Pastor Freeman, who is bringing his project to bear. He is utilizing A's, so to do so, they will be doing certain work. It'll be outsourced to them. We will be determining the cost as we go along because that's based on time. I alluded to last week about the service models. I want all you guys to be thinking, and this is also terminology. When we say do it yourself, do it with you, do it for you, those are the three service models that we have and that you can use. These are standard industry practices, especially when dealing with software as a service. Do it yourself is you get the tool, $19.95, you're on your own. That's all you do. I'm thinking out loud as I speak to you because this is my plan. I don't have bandwidth to service all my 1995 clients. So I'm just marketing to them. So I'm just, hey, AI Workstation, get it all in one bundle, set it and forget it. Anybody who signs up, that's fine. But once they come into the ecosystem, now I got them. They signed up. I may even give them a free 7-day evaluation of the tool. And once they get in, okay, now we have the models there where, hey, you want a virtual sales letter. Here's the tool to do it. This is how I'm designing my workstation so that it's seamless and intuitive in terms of the outcome that you want. It's going to be fairly easy to figure out what AI tool I need to use to create this product. I want to be able to create a bot that says, and train it on all the tools that are in our ecosystem. Get a client. This client wants X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, book, marketing materials, but which products or which apps within the AI workstation do I need to complete this task working group? Does that make sense? Please let me know if that makes sense. Drop something in the chat if that makes sense, if you will likely employ this model.
Everybody can speak who wants to speak.
Super. Let me raise your hand if you got a question. So now these are the actual products. There are dozens, hundreds. Yes,
that's 3.
So now, as you recall, if you're on the call last week, you will know that there are probably 15 products that we could have created for Pastor Freeman. He went back, took a look at it, and we settled on the book. And we're going to do a little bit of work on the stage play, but we're going to create the chatbot, a devotional guide, and a promo kit. His investment is really going to be based on our times and materials. But, hey, folks, here's the thing. The potential return from having built that he could sell this ebook and the return on that based on his cost. If he sold 1,000 a year or 500, he could earn $5,000. But again, he's not doing anything. This is earning income in your sleep. I'm trying to get you to the point where it's automated and systemized because we have all the tools to do that. We just got to do it. The chatbot, devotional guide, all these things are fairly easy to create. And while we create these products, make a template so that you are going to decrease your production cost of anything you do because you already have the templates a year from now. So that makes it a lot simpler. This is not the closing vision, but we're trying to reach a global audience. And that's what I want you to do. That's why we have these tools. Now, this is the production plan for the project. And this drills down a little deeper into the actual work that we have. We talked a little bit about the goals, and we're well positioned to bring this to bear in this space right now. How much time do we have? I would like to get this done in 3 months and hope you guys join me on this journey. Now, these are the product priority matrix. Now, if you see, these are all the products that I talked about, the ones we had listed last week. If you see the product service on the left-hand side, ebook, 60-day devotional, promo, video, audiobook, these are all the potential products we can produce from the AdW apps. Across from there is the description. We're going in terms of what we are going to do to that product. We're going to transform it into a polished Kindle print book format. We're telling him specifically what he's getting for what he's paying for. Not only now that we have a description, the priority is a rocket. We need to do this quick. So we want to do this fast. The content, what is the team role? Whoever is assigned to do curation, essentially the content curator at this point, it's Pastor Freeman because he has all the content. We got to get that from him. We got to transfer that data. Data preparation is key. You guys need to be thinking about your data transfer process, whether you're going to use Google Slides, Outlook tools, or whatever. Within our Zoho, we have our own work drive. We can send out a link and they can upload it. Just like when Deal AI, 1000X AI have all their documents into Google Drive. Zoho, you don't need Google Drive because you don't have to pay for Google Drive because Zoho now is the Google Drive. We have a Google Drive, we have a Zoho Drive. So we can upload and maintain terabytes of data. Not worried about running out. If we do, we can always buy more. But at this point, run out of 5 or 10 terabytes, then you deserve an upgrade. These are the actual bundles. And so I named each bundle. I would say that naming your product and bundles makes you familiar with that. And it's just like a child. You grow it, nurture it, then you either set it off or set it free. This is the core legacy bundle, and this is what we'll be building within the work group, and you guys will have the opportunity to do that. This is another bundle, digital discipleship bundle. Now, I realize that the chat box, we're doing Pastor Freeman a favor. Within the core bundle, because he is part of the AI work group, we are going to include the chatbot and knowledge base within the core bundle. These bundles right here, they will be for people who come after him. But in our case, we're going to add to his bundle. In terms of the advanced things that come out of the advanced legacy bundles, that's where you will find your automations. That's where you will find Danny doing his work. That cost, that's an additional. We're going to throw in some automation.
Detected at your front door.
So we're going to throw in 1 or 2 automations to this bundle. So this is going to be a super enhanced core bundle for Pastor Freeman. Does that make sense? Let me know. Because he's our first and we like him. Again, our presentation last week was a discovery, was a requirements. We got his requirements. We went back. I hope you guys are noticing the sales process because I may be making this too difficult based on feedback from Dan. I'm making it too complex. But I don't know any other way to wrap my head around this. It makes me crazy if I can't understand what I'm selling. So for me, I have to do this, and hopefully it's helpful to you. That's why we have teams. I can't do it all. I need you. I need Danny. I need the tools if I'm going to be successful. I understand that. But we need to define roles. Team roles are very important. One thing I have done is develop teams in the military. I know how effective teams are. That's why I am a teaming fanatic. If you got a great team and you work together and you don't worry about competition, you collaborate to accomplish an objective that you can all be proud of, that's meaningful. That's what works for me. Does money work for me? It's not my primary motivator, but it's helpful. All it does is measure the fact that someone is using what I developed. That's a plus. These are just the workflow timelines. I want to be really done with this in 1 or 2 months at least. We've already developed the final products. We know what model. We're going to give him a super enhanced core bundle. And I want to have a launch party. I want to see all you guys here in Maryland come up here and we can have a party spring for dinner. Now, let's talk about Pastor Freeman's responsibilities. Your client has a responsibility, and you need to be able to tell your client what you got to bring to the table. In order for me to do my job, I need data. Data is king. So you need the content. You got to have the content. So if you have content, you're just making stuff up. We can't do anything without the content because we enhance. We don't create the content. We just make the content better. We market it. We automate it. That's what we do. That's our jobs. And one of the things we're going to be asking to do, we're going to ask him to record some voice samples because just think about it. What if he wants to do a sermon every week? The rest, we got his voice sample. He can prepare his sermon, upload it after he preaches on Sunday, or he can do it in a live recording. But either way, you get the point. He has that data, he owns it, and he can monetize it and do whatever he wants with it and turn it into new data. Okay, we selected the bundle. The only thing here today is to get us some feedback on if anyone wants to assume a formal role within this context for a task or something like that. If we ask you to do something, say, hey, can you create this virtual letter? Because you're part of the team, and we say, here's $50 to do it. Can you do that? That's an hour's worth of work. Bring it back in the format that we need. Is that possible? Yes. If you want to assume a role like that, earn a few dollars, it's not going to be a bunch of money because we're not making a bunch of money. We were really trying to develop the model. That's what's important. And because Pastor Freeman is a good subject, it's a good test case, this makes it even better because guess what? We can monetize these things. He can create a legacy from this. It's set and forget. And then we move on. And then he does it from other people and repeat that throughout the process. And that is ethical digital transformation. Okay, so that's the presentation for today. I'll try to, while you guys are coming up with your questions, and please, anything, there's no question that I will take today.
Yeah, I see Bear's note takers on, but Keisha and Antoinette jumped on. Hey, welcome. Does anyone have questions for Joel regarding the outline of what he's put on here?
This is Keisha. I apologize. I jumped on late because I had something else going. And also because I got my new laptop. For some reason, it says 1047 and I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute, it can't be 1047 because, and when I looked at my cell phone, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm late. Just jumped on and I apologize. I do not know exactly what was going on.
Okay,
So,
sure, super. I'll send you the presentation. Keisha.
okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, just share it out to everybody. I'm curious about some of the stuff on there as well. I think it was a great presentation. I think it helps us, again, one of Joel's big things are standard operating procedures and SOPs. And as you're building out your white label, the more organized you are, the better you're able to serve yourself, the better you're able to service your customers. So I fully agree with Joel on that part of it. We don't disagree on the need for detailed organization. What we disagree on sometimes is who does what. And more importantly, how much do you share with your target customer when they're just getting started? My philosophy, and this is where we do differ, is I like to keep it simple for the first little bit. And then once they get into it, then I share, okay, let me show you what's behind the curtain. Here's the stuff you need to know. That's the only thing we disagree on. We don't disagree on the fact that this is hard. It is not easy. And so if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you just have to realize that. And then my third thing I'll point out here is, and this is where Author Reese was just discussing with us, as an entrepreneur, you always have to balance out, am I going to spend my time or am I going to spend my money? And sometimes it's very hard for us entrepreneurs to let go of some of the detail work and delegate that. I've been doing this for 30 plus years, but as an entrepreneur myself, over the last 2 years, I have learned that VAs are extremely useful because there's just so many hours in the day. If you're doing detailed things, you are not making money. So you do have to figure that out and balance it. This is where the DIY, Divi, which is what we're doing now. Divi is like the whole AI workstation model. It is about us sharing knowledge and working on things together. And then, of course, there's the done for you. And that's where I have customers that start in the Divi model and then graduate and say, okay, let me give you these 10 tasks. Go forth. If anytime you want to get into the model where you need some help, we can definitely help. If you're in the AI workstation or in the Bill Biz, you can just reach out to me and I can help you on that. So it just depends. Everybody's here on different platforms, which is great. That's one of the things I love about this is that no matter which platform you're on, we're going to help you together. If you're on the AI workstation platform, reach out to Joel and he can help connect you with the VAs, and then we'll work on all this together. All right? We'll make it happen. Joel,
Yeah.
hopefully that feedback helped.
I just want to say that early on, when we were trying to sort this out and mesh up our operating styles together, we did kind of see it differently. But I think with the advent of the big idea generator, that is the key of merging two distinct thought processes together. And so that's where you go do that. Danny, that's what we did. I called Danny one day. I said, Danny, we need a visioning session. It was like to see what it is that I'm trying to do. And so that day we put together, that's when we kind of came together after, where's this going? And so after that visioning session, things were a little clearer for me. And so now we are here today. But it's a process. And so that's where we are. Unfortunately, Pastor Freeman was pulled away from job. He has a job, although he's a pastor. And so he was not able to make it today. We were going to start uploading his knowledge base, but I have some documents. And so we're going to start training the bot today with the documents that I have.
Let me ask this question. Did he signed up under AI Workstation or did he sign up under Bill Biz? Do you remember?
AI Workstation.
Okay, let me see if I can gain access. And if you could entertain the troops for just a second while I take a look at that. Gaining access to his white label so we can take a look at building the bot.
All right. At this point, while Danny is doing that, he talked about a little bit about the way our product, our model is going to be within his working group. So because you came in at the $19.95 price, you will always have that price if you want to maintain it within his working group. We will be raising this price to $49.95 at some point, but you will be grandfathered in to the AI workstation. We will have a lot more bots. I talked to Danny yesterday. My idea is to have 3 different type of AIW workstations. We got the AIW workstation for nonprofits, which would include the work we did for Dr. Boyd app, and it has a few other nonprofit apps in there. We'll continue to build out that workstation. We can also develop new apps for nonprofits based on research, or if we just want to put something out there. But we really don't have the bandwidth. But if someone has an idea for a nonprofit app that you think is marketable, please let us know. So that's the IW app nonprofit. Then we're going to have the IW app for everyday people. These are tools designed for people who work from home, creators, small businesses, solopreneurs, or whatever. And then the third AI workstation would be the AI for business. That essentially is the Bill Biz platform. Essentially, it'll just still be AIW, but it'll be mostly business oriented for people. Okay, I want more automation tools or capabilities. It'll be customizable along those aspects. That is my model. If it makes sense to you, please let me know, or let me know if it's too complicated or if I can simplify. I'm fighting for feedback and I'd love to hear from you. Hi, Antoinette.
When I was listening, I got on about 3:15. It sounds like you're presenting to two different audiences at the same time. It sounds like you're showing what you've done, you're telling how we can do it, and then you're also stating what the person who you're servicing is going to be requested to do.
That was my intent. Thank you, Antoinette. I think that's what I was trying to do. Was that confusing?
So were you presenting it to us as to how we can do it? Or if he was here, you were showing him what he was doing? It was just, in my thoughts, it was a lot of separation going on as you were going over it. My thoughts became distracting because it's okay, is this a show me how to do it? Or no, this is what I'm doing. For me, I felt like if you're presenting it to someone, I was just trying to catch what I was actually supposed to be focusing on.
Okay. So now, Antoinette, let me ask you, were you present on the other calls that we had?
I did not get to do last week when you got the information,
Yeah.
but I've been hearing of Pastor Freeman for a while.
So last week was critical. And so maybe that's why
I need to listen to the recording.
yeah, there may be some gaps, but I think you make a very good point and I appreciate it. I need to remind myself of that. I am building the plane while I'm flying it, as I tell Danny all the time, because of the complexity. And I may be doing it at a certain level, but you are absolutely correct. I'm showing you what's possible. First of all, we took the requirements. These are his requirements. And so we did that. We developed it, ran them through the big idea generator, came up with the product mix and matrix of bundles, identified the task, and all those things are contained within our knowledge base. So now when we come back and he says, okay, I want this and this, and I look at this group as a resource. Antoinette, this is where I factor in you guys. If we are going to be meeting as a group, let's document it. That briefing last week established the criticality of documenting this process because we want to be able to repeat it like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's and systemize our production instead of recreating the wheel each time with different outcomes. All we're trying to do is standardize it. Will it work? I don't know, but we're going to try it. Also, instructing the individual in terms of what they need to bring to the table. So yeah, that presentation right there captures it all. I couldn't do this presentation a month ago. It took a minute to get here, but I think it has been a methodical, thoughtful process. I appreciate the feedback and we'll incorporate that to make sure that people know where I am and where we are at any point. So now I want to get to the team in terms of what their roles could be. There are certain roles within a group. Somebody has to curate the data, somebody has content, somebody has quality assurance, somebody has to create the content, make the automations or linkages. Danny does that for the automation for the linkages. There may be some people who like to create videos. So if somebody wants to create a video for Pastor Freeman, then you work with Pastor Freeman and say, okay, what do you want your video to say? How do you want it based on everything else you've done? And you work one-on-one. And then we will work out with you. We will compensate you a little bit if you want to take an hour of your time to do that video, then to upload it, and then we grab it and then we integrate it. That's doable. We have not figured out the complete process, but we want to make it fun, exciting. Your time is important. We have something, or we can just outsource it to the VAs. But I want to make sure that the group felt like you were part of this process. You could jump in, offer up anything that you want to be, or just think about it. Something that you need to create for yourself is already here. So why don't you take advantage of that and say, yeah, we're going to create a bot. I want to create a bot. So today, I guess hopefully Danny.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Whenever you're ready.
The first step is to take curated data and walk it through because everything is going to flow through that. Because once we get the bot, the knowledge base built, everything else is easy after that. Am I correct, Danny?
Oh yeah, it's definitely foundational.
Yeah, it's foundational.
All right, so let me help guide this part of it. We're just going to bring it down. When you build your white label, you have your overall platform. Your platform has multiple apps already done for you. So there's the done for you aspect of the platform. You start with something and you can build upon that. You can create your own lessons with your own video training. You can create your own custom applications, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You can build your own website or sales funnel. So all of these things are the tools towards getting your business off the ground. So again, whether your business is going to be, hey, I'm just going to use all these tools and I don't want to have anything to do with white labeling. But if you're on the Thursday call, most likely you're interested in your own business and building it from there. So we give you the foundation, and then you start adding your own personality, your own apps, and that's the way that we go forward from here. So I'm going to just walk through the framework of building an app quickly, and then we'll start building a couple so we can get you off the ground. For example, to get that foundation again, knowledge base. I teach, and Joel, we teach together concept of the AI super self. This is when you take your personality, your knowledge, your expertise, and you combine it with AI. You combine it with the prompting systems, which are like the create method that we teach. You put all that together, you become your AI super self. And that is what you want to put into the knowledge base. You can use it just for yourself personally, or you can use it to launch off your businesses. And you can have multiple businesses with this philosophy. So now you've got that AI super self working. The next thing you want to do, take the create method, create a prompt that teaches the AI based on the knowledge you've put into it and trained it on. Here's what I want to accomplish. That's where the magic of the AI app starts to come together. Now it has something to start with, and you're giving it direction. You are the human in the equation, telling it what to do, and you do that with a properly crafted prompt. You also include an example of what you want from it. You tell it specifically, here's what I want. So that's the secret of getting very well and efficient AI apps out there. Of course, then we feed in the external user's input and the AI develops and delivers output. You control what that looks like. In the platform, there's essentially three flavors of primary apps. One is, and the easiest, is the AI personality. And AI personality is just what it sounds like. In the platform, you have the AI sales coach, which is an AI personality trained based on sales and marketing. A lot of me in that one. You have the Ask Joel, you have the Ask Ramona. So you have expert AI tools trained by those people in their area of specialty. Those are the simple conversational AI. That's like ChatGPT, where you say something, it gives you an answer. You say something, gives an answer. Conversational back and forth. The second type of AI app in the platform is the input-output one, like the Big Dream Generator, where you have questions and a formatted output. The use case for that is it's great to have a conversation with an AI tool, but if you are creating a custom AI app specifically for something, you want to get specific information input and control the output. So you're going to deliver it in a way that is meaningful for the type of app that it is. In this Pastor Freeman build, we have Bible study kinds of apps. We have all kinds of apps that are specialized. So in that case, you do want to control the input. So the specific things you need from the user, and then you want to control the output. How am I presenting the output? The output can be text, of course. It can be images. It can be tables. So there's a lot of different types of output that the app can generate, and you can create those very quickly and easily. The third type is very similar to the AI personality, but we call it a chatbot for simplicity. And the chatbot is the simplest one to put on an external website. You can put it anywhere. On your websites, or if part of your business model is you're going to build custom AI apps for your customers, you can put them on other people's websites as well. So that is the third primary type. There are other kinds, but those are the three primary types. So today we're going to focus on getting some of these built quickly. Any questions before I keep going? All right. already. So let's go in here and start on the knowledge base. Have any of you started playing around with building a knowledge base?
Hey, Danny, I do have a question, but more an observation in terms of those three apps you meant, the knowledge base, the chatbot, and the other apps. Is there a recommended data preparation or data type of curated data that you need? What do you recommend to have curated in terms of clean data from the start? I found out how important this was when I was actually building a live bot for my website in terms of the person I was working with, and I paid thousands of dollars for this at the time. This was last year. The bot that I have on my AI for humanity speaks, this is live voice. Oh, but that was $1,000. The problem was the training of it was very tedious, detail, and it had to be very exact. I don't know if we need to do that here, but you need to know that your data needs to have content, context, headings, and things. It needs to be really created to be effective, but it slows down the processing time when the data is not immediately there. Does that make sense?
And I agree with that. The good news is in the platform, building these AI apps, whether you do them yourselves or you have us do them for you, your brain, your vision, your knowledge is what we need to ingest into the AI app to get the proper and correct output. I think that's the most important thing. You have to think about what is the desired vision or output you want to see from these custom AI apps, and make sure that you have that data that you're going to feed into it. The formatting is a little less critical in this particular type of platform, but the accuracy of the data, and this is something that Joel and I discussed a few times when we were building a couple apps together. You don't want to feed it anything that'll maybe have it give incorrect answers. You do want to make sure what you're feeding it is proper information, of course, so that it will always give you the best answer that it can give. But here's one of the things I do want to stress as you're building these out, Pastor Freeman, is that when you're building it in, get that first pass done, that minimally viable product, as we like to say. Get it done. The only way you're going to know if the AI is going to give you the right answer is to build it and then ask it a question. Don't agonize overly much on everything. You don't have to make it perfect the first time you build it. It's better to get it done and then start testing it. Once you get it up and running, give it to friends and family, let them play with it, make sure the answers that it's giving is within the bounds that you want it to give, and certainly they're accurate from the information. So don't put things in it just to throw things in it. That'll confuse it and give inaccurate answers. So yes, that's critical. Hopefully I answered the original thought or question you had, Joel.
Yes.
Do you have some PDFs that we can throw in here? I should have asked that before I started.
Yeah, I have tons of data. It's just it's not curated. So I can I can show you. I can tell you for the most part. I have mostly his scripts for his book and play. I just sent out an email asking for his bio, and I'm also developing a resources for URLs that could be critical.
Okay. Could you just email me a couple of them and I'll grab them?
Okay.
That's perfect. All right, let me bounce out of here because I don't need the PowerPoint anymore. Thank you, my PowerPoint friend. Those are the best kind of PowerPoints when I just show one slide. Everybody appreciates the simplicity of that. I've been known to have 40 in a deck, so it's good if I can get away with just doing one or two. All right, so the other thing that you can do, let me explain the inputs here, okay? The first one is the files themselves. You can upload any kind of PDF, Word doc, PowerPoint, Excel file. It's pretty flexible. And the concept here is you want to teach it and give it backstory, give it information based on the topic. How many databases can you have? You can have as many as you need to. How many documents can you upload? You have 5 terabytes of storage in your platform, so you can upload quite a few. I'm fully in agreement with Joel on this one item is that you shouldn't upload just things just to upload them. You should upload things that are relevant to what the AI is responsible for answering. And you can add and delete things as you go along if the answers are not coming up the way that you want them to. All right. So be aware of that. So we can actually, let me do this. I'll just do a sample one so that we can build it quickly here. So let's say I wanted to build a knowledge base for an attorney firm. And I just happen to have these documents because I just did one the other day for one of the other trainings that I did. So if you were creating a app for an attorney's law firm and you wanted to put a bunch of documents into that, your business should have PDFs, standard operating procedures, books, documents, all kinds of things within your business. You can simply upload those, and that will allow the AI to ingest them and become knowledgeable on that particular subject, and more importantly, on your business processes and philosophies. I talk about personalized AI. That's where AI personality lines up in terminology. This is your personality in an AI out to the world. I've just told it, hey, ingest these documents so that you now know about my law firm, our business processes, and make them all line up that way. So that's what that is doing for us. Joel just gave me some links. Perfect. Thank you, Joel. Sometimes this is so hilarious to me. I think I'm on 4 or 5. I'm sharing and I'm also doing the webinar, but there we go. That took a little longer than it should, but now all these documents in here. So you do not have to do them one at a time. And then from there, now you can go out and grab some URLs that you want to add to this legal app. And so you can just grab some legalese websites. Let me grab one here. Let's just grab one for the example, because again, this is just an example app. We're just going to keep on flowing here. We'll use Joel's. My brain is tired, so pardon me for my slowness. That's a very good point. So here's where you just paste in that URL and click add. And now it's scanning that page. It looks at the text, the metadata, schema, all its behind the scenes context and information. And that's what it's ingesting into the AI. If you have multiple pages like home, about, services, FAQ, you need to do each one. You definitely want to train it on your website, your business. You want to train it up on your mentor. If your mentor has a philosophy or something you want to make sure it understands and can grasp, you want to pull all of those things into this. That's one way to get it to ingest everything. Now, the third one is what we call a manual document, and I'll show you that in just a second. But these are the elements that you can add to build this out. So again, full-fledged documents, PDFs, whatever, URLs that are important to the discussion that the AI is going to be having. And then manual documents can be any kind of text that you have. So you can give it some background for the name of the doc. You can just go ahead and add whatever the content is. Go away. There we go. And so from here now, I can grab any text document. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to grab a little bit of data so I can use it to drop this in here. And it's just a copy paste. And the beauty of this is it can be a journal entry. It can be text that you have covered from way back 3 years ago, and you've had this information for years and you just want to share it. You can go back in time, find all of those YouTube videos that you recorded 3, 4, 5 years ago on your business, grab the transcript. If you have a video, grab that transcript, feed it into the AI. It's another thing it should know and learn about you. All of these things are in there so that it completely builds out this bot. Now that you've got the foundational piece, you choose which type of bot we're going to build. So this one, we're going to build out an AI personality. You just go in and say, I'm going to create a new one. You give it a title, firm advisor, and you give it a description. It can be almost anything. Let's see. I have a document that I was working on to build out these apps earlier. I teach all the time. It's great to have a document where you can put all these things into so that once you have them, you can reuse them if you need to. More importantly, as Joel was saying, documentation. All right, great. There we go. We'll do this part here. Get clarity. Yep, that's fine. It's a little long. Let me shorten it. Sorry. You can't see what I'm doing right this second. I'm just trying to grab something relatively short for this particular purpose. There we go. I'll grab this part. So I'm going to drop this in here. One of the things I get asked a lot is, Danny, I just don't understand how to do this stuff. If you run into a snag and you're trying to build something that you are not sure how to do it, always remember, just ask the AI tool. Okay. You do not have to know everything. You can have the AI help you with any of these things that you want to be able to do. So whenever you get stuck, go back to the Ask the Experts section and find one of the experts that fit what you're trying to do. In this case, you can ask the AI sales coach, or you can ask the Ask Danny app if it's sales and marketing. So the sales coach is a little bit more generic chat GPT. It's also trained up on over 100 documents. So that's another reason why it's a good source. You can start a new chat with it. And you could put in a prompt like, I want to create an AI personality called Trial Prep Mentor, AI litigation coaching app, and the purpose and what you want it to do. And boom, let it go. And so it is going to go ahead and take a look at your request. A good prompt will get you a long way. If you don't know how to create the prompt, ask the AI app to help you create the prompt. So I've asked it to help me with that. And so while it's doing that, I'm just going to go back to where I was. And did I lose when I logged in again? User error, as they say. I think I might have bounced myself out of my custom AI app I was building. Let's take a peek in here. Who did I log in as? Oh, I logged in. I thought I was already logged in as Joel. Okay, this is really interesting. It's a different look and feel. Let's see. Nope, I see what I did. Perfect. Let's go back here. So now it's going to ask you for an app logo, and then you can pick a type of personality. One of the simplest ones, of course, if you're building a coach, is to call it coach. And then you can start describing to this AI app creator or AI personality creator what you want the app to specialize in. I can take that same description, lay it out here so that it knows what's the purpose of this AI personality, what is it going to be covering. And then I asked the little AI app to give me all of this information. So what's the core feature? It's an AI role play engine. What's the brief analysis, why it works, conversational design, all of these things that I may not know how to do. I could just grab this now and drop it in as a long form prompt. I don't have to know what I'm doing. I can just give it the instruction set. And when you ask it to create this stuff, it can be very detailed and long. It can learn all of this directly from the Ask Alex.
Danny,
Yes.
Danny, I dropped in the logo for the app
Oh, okay.
in the chat.
Oh, okay. This was for Pastor Freeman's app. Oh, that looks very good. I like that. Yeah, we're going to definitely do that next. Okay. I like that one. That is nice. I'm definitely going to make use of
Yeah,
that.
it looks like you, man.
I don't have hair anymore, man. I don't know what you're talking about. But that's a nice one. I like that one. That is really cool. So I think Pastor is definitely going to like this when we get going here. That is really good. All right. That is a good one. All right. So I'm just going to find any kind of logo right now. This one is dark, but it's fine. It'll work for now. All right. So, what is it doing here? Oh, did I click on the wrong thing here? Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to get an app. There we go. It's dark, but it's fine. All right. So the next thing you want to do is strictly remain on topic. Do you want it to stay on the narrow path, or do you want it to wander around? Since it's a legal app, we probably want to keep it on topic. AI starts the conversation. Do you want it to generate images? If you're doing a personality, I think it's okay. It sometimes does slow it down, but you want to give it the freedom to create an image if somebody wants an image. And the same thing with, is it published? Yes. And the last thing, is it built for creativity or for logic and reasoning? If you're doing sales, creativity would be great. If you're doing something like law, you want it to be on point. So you can also go here into Ask Alex and say, create an icon for, okay, let's create an app icon. You can just copy the name of it and tell it what you want it to call it. Drop that right in there. It'll do all of this because I'm allowing it to do it, and make it one by one, basically square with colors blue and silver. You can just tell it, hey, make me an icon. Since you're describing the app, now I want you to kind of work it out and give me an icon for it. So that's what it's going to do.
Danny, if you allow the image generation in the Ask bot does that count against your credits?
No, no, it does not.
Who pays for it?
It's built into your platform cost.
Oh, awesome. That's good news.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I like that one. That's nice. And that's the one that came up with here, the trial prep mentor. I like that one. Pretty good. So we'll grab that and save it for future reference. And there's lots of different ways to get these apps into the whole equal scare here. Yeah, so I'm just going to grab a little bit. All right, just the speed of time here. All right, so we have our app. It is ready to go, the Firm Advisor. And as admin, you can go out immediately and load it up. It's going to introduce itself because we told it to speak first. It'll basically, because this is a new app, it's taking its time to crunch through database, but it's up and ready to go. And then you can ask it a question. Hello there, I'm Alex, your dedicated litigation coach here at Trial Prep Mentor. So then you can go back and forth. So everybody's played with it, but that's it. This app is now up, ready to go. You can start questioning it. I'm not an attorney, so I couldn't tell if it's telling the truth. But once you start using the app, you can go into the admin view. Let's go back one page here. In the admin view, let's say I go into this one here because we've used it a few times. You can see the questions that are being asked, and then you can see its responses. So this is how you as the administrator can keep track of what's going on. All right. So I'll pause here. We're at 4:06. We did pretty well. We built an app. We discussed an app. And that's really how simple that is to build those personalities. Those are the simplest. The other ones take a little bit more because you do have to go in and actually tell it the input and outputs, right, that you're going to use. So here's the inputs and outputs as part of it. And you can build a pretty sophisticated app similar to the Big Dream Generator. You have the questions and answers on the left. You can even add toggles to multiple choice. The output from these input-output apps can be very detailed. For example, this one is creating content for posting on blogs, websites, and email, and it can even generate photos for you to include in your content. It can be pretty sophisticated in what you build. I'll stop there and see if anybody has any questions.
So Danny, all the apps that you use, are they contained in the AI workstation?
No, it's all contained in. The only reason I bounced out is because I wanted to grab this legal one where you can see finished, kind of like a cooking show. No,
So,
yeah, no. We would build it right here in the AI workstation. Absolutely.
and then how do you, okay, I guess we can discuss this next time in terms of the linkage to a knowledge base, because that's where I'm confused in terms of you build a bot, then you
Hmm.
link it to a knowledge base. Or you
Well,
start with the personality first, or and that's where I'm like,
yeah, no, it doesn't. The database is separate from the app in the sense that you can build multiple knowledge bases if you want to, or you can share that knowledge base. It doesn't have to be a separate one for each. For example, if you have a knowledge base on cooking and another on running a hair salon, you don't want to put all of that in one. That would be confusing to the AI.
best to keep it within a vertical and
Even a specialty. For example,
or
for Pastor, some of his documents are foundational, but his play is completely separate from some of the other apps we're going to build. They don't necessarily have anything to do with each other. This is what I mean by if one is on just Bible study, you want to load, of course, the Bible and maybe multiple versions of the Bible, depends on Pastor's feelings on that. And then, so now that you have that, you might want to add, if he's got a book on his philosophies on the Bible, his teachings, that's very specific to a pastor. So that's what I meant by that has nothing to do with his play, because his play might have scandalous things in it for entertainment, even if it's holy, it may have concepts you don't want to include in your Bible study app. Does that?
oh my God, thank you for that. That is because there's a scene in the play, could be unchristian. And if someone asks, what should I do in this situation? It says, shoot them in the head.
You do not want the app to be confused about which type of
An
answer
eye
to
for
give.
an eye app. I guess.
You nailed it. There you go. So that's why you do want to have separate knowledge bases for separate topics. And this is going to be one of those things where if the information is sensitive, you do want to be extremely careful on what you train that AI on, because then that AI is
Okay.
going to
Before we close out, even though we may joke and fun about it, look at it, and I look at the implications. I want to protect myself. So we need some sort of disclosure or disclaimer when we work with products. Do you have something that you use that we can send to people? Because if someone uses the product we built and gives bad information, how do we identify ourselves?
Good question. I covered that in one of my books that are part of the platform. But let's see, yeah, that's a good idea. We can work on that together. When building your website, you want to have terms and conditions on your website. Same thing when you're sharing apps. You can have the app give warnings on accuracy. Generally speaking, if you look at AI Sales Coach on the bottom of every app, in the platform that is a personality, the message is usually there on the bottom. So right here, AI sales coach like ChatGPT can make mistakes. Consider checking important information. Disclaimer is built into most of the AI apps automatically, but you can get more specific in the intro that it gives or something like that.
The last thing I want to say about this is that for now, to cover me using these tools, I went and just grabbed Deal AI's terms and conditions and used them as mine on my website. I didn't even change a word. I just left it as it was. I could, but I don't know. I just want to let Danny know that, right or wrong. I don't know if I need to modify it, but it's their platform. If there's anything they need to go after, I'm just putting that out.
Here's a reality, okay? You should, if you have your own business, have your own insurance, especially if you're an LLC, diversify yourself from your personal life. Those two things are very important. And then the third is, yes, put terms and conditions everywhere that you can. This is America. This is America. Anybody can sue anybody for anything. So just be aware of that. If you're a business person, those are just the facts of life.
Thank you so much.
All
Any
right.
questions?
All right, everybody. As fun as usual. And we'll keep doing more apps. I just did the personality app. If we want next week, after the main session, we can do some of the other flavors of apps that are out there and show you some tips and tricks on that. Okay?
Danny, I thought you were going to show us the finished product.
We didn't really build anything useful. For the interest of time, I didn't actually spend too much time building it. The finished product on the sales and mentor one was just a placeholder. That's why I jumped over to the other app, which is already completed. So you could see what, if you build an input output app, what it would look like.
So,
Okay.
Danny, I want to ask you, I don't know what your time looks like tomorrow, but I'm going to start building this. Are you able to assist me at 10 o'clock? And anybody else who wants to join to see how this works?
It may be difficult for me to do that tomorrow. Sorry. I appreciate the invite, though.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a date because, again, we could talk about this.
We'll come back and we'll build out more stuff. And so
Okay.
I do want to be able to do that for you guys. No problem.
Thanks.
No worries. Talk to you later.
Thank you,
Have a good one.
Joel.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, Danny.